Tell you one thing, T. I'm getting too old for this nonsense.
This is the ending we all fought for, the one that felt right. Michael DeSanta, Franklin Clinton, and Trevor Phillips standing together against the world, having stared off into the abyss and spit in its eye. They just pulled off the impossible. They survived a coordinated attack by the FIB in Merryweather, systematically erased every major enemy who wanted them dead, and walked away with the score of a lifetime from the Union Depository. This final scene is a masterclass in catharsis. The three of them are this deeply flawed, dysfunctional, and dangerous trio, and they agree to stay friends. The camera pulls back, the sun sets over Los Santos, and the credits roll. It's the perfect happy ending, a violent, chaotic, but ultimately positive resolution where loyalty against all odds wins the day. But what if I told you that happy ending is the single biggest lie in the entire game? What if the final mission of Grand Theft Auto 5 wasn't about survival, but was the bloody coronation of Los Santos' new kings? Now, before we dive into this new conspiracy, we need to establish one crucial fact. The entire story of GTA 5, where Michael accidentally stumbles back into crime, is already a lie. I've proven that in a previous video that Lester Crest orchestrated everything from the beginning. His impossible knowledge of Michael's secret FIB payments proves he was the puppet master all along. If you haven't seen that breakdown, click this card here or check out the link in the description. Because once you accept that Lester was pulling the strings from day one, the game's ending takes on a completely different meaning. The story you were told, that Franklin Clinton, faced with an impossible choice, came up with a desperate, last-ditch plan to save his friends, became an obvious misdirection. It's a cover story designed to mask something far more sinister: the hostile takeover of the entire Los Santos underworld. The canonical ending of GTA 5 is the third way, and it's presented as Franklin's moment of moral clarity. He's given two ultimatums. FIB agent Steve Haines demands he kill Trevor, and billionaire Devin Weston orders him to kill Michael. The story tells us that Franklin, the loyal protege, rejects both terrible options and, in a moment of desperate inspiration, calls Lester to invent a third way out. But this premise has a massive narrative fault line. We're asked to believe that Lester Crest, the man who, as we've established, orchestrated a decade-long conspiracy to reunite the crew and hit the Union Depository, is suddenly relegated to a supporting role. That this man, this genius, is waiting for Franklin to devise the single most critical strategic move of the entire game. It makes no sense until you realize what's actually happening. Here's the truth. By the time Franklin arrives at Lester's house, the choice has already been made. The player selected Deathwish. Franklin has rejected both ultimatums. The meeting isn't about deciding what to do, it's about proving Franklin understands why his choice matters strategically. It's Lester's final confirmation that Franklin has truly graduated from loyal muscle to strategic leadership. When Franklin calls Lester, his plea is one of pure desperation.
Lester, dawg. Man, we need to talk. I got a problem I need your help with. Man, actually, fuck it. Man, we all got a problem you can help us with.
Franklin lays out the impossible situation. He's caught between two death sentences and he feels completely trapped. Now, watch what Lester does first. Instead of helping, he provokes.
All right. I say kill Michael, then kill Trevor.
This is the first test. Lester presents the most cynical, sociopathic, and pragmatic solution possible. From a purely amoral standpoint, it's valid. Eliminate both liabilities and the problem disappears. He's testing Franklin's core motivation. Is loyalty just a preference, or is it a non-negotiable principle? And Franklin's response is immediate and disgusted.
Man, are you for real?
He doesn't even entertain it. He passes the first test instantly. This proves that his choice for the third way wasn't Franklin picking the good guy option in a video game. It's fundamental to who he is. But Lester isn't done yet. Once Franklin passes the loyalty test, he moves immediately to test number 2, resolve.
You're fucked, I don't know.
You know everything, dawg.
I know, okay, but I'm sorry, I guess this is it. I'm doing my best, man. I don't know how you can deal with both of them.
I know, man.
Shit. We're fucked. Every single one of us is fucked.
This performance is profoundly out of character, but consider this. This is the same man who calmly navigated federal agencies, psychotic killers, and impossible heists.
Oh, because you're a dead man? And the only sentient part you left is this little bit of brain and the gristle on the end of my boot? You say?
Well, this is a good time.
That's
It's fucking fuck you, man!
Hey! For a couple of Midwest stick-up artists, you guys sure have become a pair of whiny West Coast douchebags!
The man who structured secret payment systems and manipulated everyone for a decade. And suddenly he's panicked and incompetent? This is just performance art, a calculated collapse designed to test Franklin's resolve. Lester is basically saying your noble choice is impossible. We're doomed. Will you give up and reconsider? Remember how Lester operates. When he first reunited with Michael, he played dumb about the FIB connection before revealing he knew everything. A psychological power play to establish dominance.
About what happened before.
Oh, I know you never mentioned my name. I know I'm not on any lists anywhere. I know you never betrayed me. As for you, you gotta figure that I never told anyone. That instead of gently decomposing in North Yankton, you're angrily decomposing in Los Santos with a shrink and a wife who don't love you no more.
And most witnesses don't transfer five-figure sums into a particular FIB agent's bank account every month. Of course, the money gets moved around and washed through a number of fronts, but the trail is there. Deposits and withdrawals, the same sum every month. Agent Dave Norton, white middle-aged divorcee, unremarkable career, except for one incident, the shooting of a notorious stick-up man, Michael Townley.
Yeah, all right. Lester, I'm very impressed.
He's using the exact same tactic here. He's feigning helplessness to see if Franklin has learned the most important lesson. Think about Franklin's journey throughout the game. Michael has been his tactical mentor, teaching him how to shoot, how to drive, how to execute a heist. But Lester has been his strategic mentor, teaching him how to think several moves ahead, how to reject false choices.
You can guess. The pay will be awful, and the risk will be high. But you might learn something, if you're interested.
Man, that's not exactly a great sales pitch, dog, but I guess I gotta start somewhere.
Thank you. Maybe one day you could put together your own deals. Your own jobs.
The ultimatum from Haines and Weston is Franklin's final test. Lester needs to confirm that Franklin isn't just loyal muscle, but someone who can think strategically and independently. Someone who understands that you never accept an enemy's terms. You reject their premise entirely and create your own solutions. And here's where Franklin truly graduates. He doesn't panic. He doesn't buckle. Instead, he pushes back and reaffirms his faith in their strategic core.
Man, are you for real?
You're fucked, you know, I don't know.
You know everything, dog.
This is the magic phrase, Franklin's coronation moment. He's not just a desperate kid begging for help. He's now a strategic partner, challenging his mentor to live up to his own reputation. He's saying, I've made my choice. I'm sticking to it, and I know you're the one who can make it happen, so drop the act. And what does Lester do? He drops the act instantly.
Shit. We're fucked. Every single one of us is fucked. Unless... Okay, Steve Haines is under a lot of heat because of the shootings at Court Center. And Devin Weston is A, known to be a major asshole, and B, known to be friendly with Don Percival, who runs Merriweather. If I tell them both that you boys are at the Foundry in Marietta Heights melting it down, then maybe both of them will pay you a visit, and bam, we turn it into a bust.
Notice the speed. He goes from we're all effed to a fully formed multi-stage plan with specific intelligence on business ownership, political vulnerabilities, locations, and tactics in a matter of seconds. There's no way this plan was invented on the spot. It was sitting in a drawer, waiting. Metaphorically speaking, Lester was ready. He just needed Franklin to prove he was worthy of it. Franklin's decision to choose neither A nor B, but to invent option C, proves he's graduated from student to mastermind, someone who can be trusted with what comes next. His moment of moral rebellion is actually proof that he's ready for leadership in what's about to be built. The meeting at Lester's house isn't a brainstorming session. It's Franklin's final exam, and he just passed with flying colors. The bloody public coronation at the Foundry will follow, but this private moment, this is where Franklin becomes a king. Now this is where the entire survival narrative completely falls apart. The scene at the foundry where the crew plans their counterattack has long been accepted as a desperate brainstorming session. 3 guys backed into a corner figuring out how to stay alive. But if you actually listen to what they're planning, the objective rapidly metastasizes from self-preservation into something far more ambitious. A systematic purge of every single rival power center in Los Santos. The initial threats are clear. Steve Haines of the FIB wants Trevor dead, and Devin Weston of Merryweather wants Michael dead. Simple enough, we kill them first, right? But then the conversation takes a turn that should make everyone question what's really happening.
What about that triad motherfucker? The one that think you 2 boys is dating? Shit, you know he bound to come back.
Yep, there's that.
Well, who's the guy who set up Lamar?
Stretch, we want to throw him in?
I want you to stop and think about this escalation. Wei Chang, head of Los Santos Triads, has beef with Trevor over some meth deals gone bad. He's a problem, but not an immediate threat to their survival tonight. Stretch is Franklin's former friend turned Bala's shot caller. He's been a thorn in Franklin's side, but he has nothing to do with the current crisis with Haines and Weston.
It's called a fucking loose end, all right? And if we're gonna be men of peace and tranquility, we tie up loose ends.
Tying up loose ends sounds reasonable on its surface, pragmatic even, but tying up a loose end is killing a witness who saw your face, silencing someone who knows too much. This is the systemic decapitation of every major power center in Los Santos. These aren't loose ends, they're rivals. And as veteran criminals, Michael, Trevor, and especially Lester understand a fundamental principle of the underworld. When you create a power vacuum this massive, someone will fill it. The only question is who. Yet they're both added to the hit list without hesitation. Michael, Trevor, and Lester understand this principle very well. Nature abhors a vacuum. You don't simultaneously eliminate every major player in the city's criminal ecosystem and then expect to retire peacefully to your mansion. That's not how it works. The power vacuum they're creating is unprecedented, and with the Union Depository's gold as their war chest, who's perfectly positioned to fill that vacuum? The newly forged syndicate of Michael, Franklin, Trevor, and Lester. But here's the part that really gives it away. During the planning, Lester has perfect intelligence on every target. He knows exactly where Steve Haines will be filming. He knows Devin Weston's location at his mansion. He has real-time tracking on Wei Chang at the Pacific Bluffs Country Club. He knows where to find Stretch at the BJ Smith Recreational Center. Keep in mind, this is the same Lester who has to take time to locate a bug van or a garbage truck.
All right, Lester, we got a pest control van.
Good. I've got a line on the knockout gas. It's made in some lab on the coast, but 2 shipments a day come through the city from the northeast, taking it to the airport.
And is known for taking time to plan things out meticulously.
Great. I'll do some research on a pest control van and the knockout gas, and I'll be in touch. Of course I'm down. Look, I'll get my research together and meet you at Trevor's.
That should do.
I'll get the equipment together. Michael, you reach out to Franklin. Trevor, you do what you do.
Roger that.
I'll call you when we're ready to move on this. It's a dumb idea, but we could trigger the alarm. See what kind of response they throw out.
Yes, Lester keeps tabs on major players. That's his job. But there's a difference between surveillance and operational intelligence. Knowing Steve Haines has a TV show is one thing. Knowing he's filming at Del Perro Pier tonight, having real-time tracking on Wei Chang's phone at the country club, and knowing Stretch's exact location at this precise moment, that's not passive monitoring, that's active preparation, the kind you have when a plan is already in motion.
Okay, well, I can tell you that Agent Haines is taping a show over on Del Perro Pier. Shooting permit came up immediately.
Shotgun!
Lester didn't scramble to find these location after Franklin's call. He's been tracking these people for weeks, maybe months, preparing for this exact scenario. The objective was never to be left alone. The objective was to create a power vacuum and fill it themselves. The third way isn't an epilogue to their criminal careers, it's a coup d'etat. Creating a power vacuum was only part of the plan. To truly control Los Santos, they need something else. Protection from the one force they couldn't eliminate through violence. The federal government itself. And the evidence that they secured exactly that is hiding in the fate of one man everyone forgets about. Agent Dave Norton. Throughout the game, Dave Norton is presented as impossibly compromised. He's the corrupt agent who helped fake Michael's death in North Yankton 9 years ago. A secret that could destroy his career. He's constantly under threat from his ruthless superior, Steve Haines.
So is he gonna be a problem?
For sure. But there's nothing we can do about it. If something happened to him right now, I'd be right under a microscope. An electron microscope of bureaucratic shit, and that would make it very difficult to keep old secrets.
Think about what happens to every single threat to Dave Norton during the Third Way. Steve Haines, his direct superior who's been using him, is dead at Del Perro Pier. Agent Sanchez, Haines's right hand who knows all their dirty secrets, dead alongside Haines. The IAA operation that was investigating them was completely discredited after the court center shootout, and Merriweather, the private army working with Haines, was forced by the government to cease all domestic operations. And this leaves a massive power vacuum within the FIB's Los Santos division. And who's the sole surviving agent with knowledge of all the operations? Dave Norton.
And most witnesses don't transfer five-figure sums into a particular FIB agent's bank account every month.
The final phone call between Michael and Dave after the credits confirm everything. Dave isn't in hiding, he's not under investigation, he's absorbed Haines's responsibilities. He got promoted.
Michael!
Davey, how's work?
Work, it's fine. Better than fine. It's good. Had a few lucky breaks. Look after yourself, Mike.
You too, Davey.
Every single person who could expose his corruption or challenge his position is dead, and he's emerged as the ranking FIB authority in Los Santos. This perfect resolution isn't a coincidence. Dave Norton wasn't a liability to be managed, he was an asset to be positioned. The entire operation wasn't just about eliminating enemies, it was about installing their own man at the top of federal law enforcement. The Syndicate's victory is built on three unshakable pillars. Number one, financial capital. The Union Depository heist wasn't the endgame, it was the funding round. That gold finances their entire operation. Number two, market control. The hit list in the Third Way created a power vacuum they were uniquely positioned to fill. They didn't just eliminate the threats, they eliminated competition. Number three, institutional protection. Dave Norton as their man inside the FIB ensures immunity from the one force that could truly threaten them, the government. And now we need to talk about the man who made it all possible. If you haven't watched my previous video of Lester Crest being the true puppet master of GTA 5, pause this one and go watch that one first. Link in the description. Because understanding Lester's decade-long manipulation is crucial to grasping the full scope of what happens in the Third Way. The short version is that Lester orchestrated everything from the beginning. The evidence for this lies in one impossible piece of knowledge. During casing the jewel store, after 9 years of no contact with Michael, Lester reveals specifics about Michael's secret life that should be unknowable.
And most witnesses don't transfer five-figure sums into a particular FIB agent's bank account every month. Of course, the money gets moved around and washed through a number of fronts, but the trail is there. Deposits and withdrawals, the same sum every month. Agent Dave Norton.
This isn't information you can hack. The payments were off the books, laundered cash to a corrupt agent. There's no digital trail that reveals the recipient's names, the five-figure amount, and the monthly frequency. And here's what seals it. During the Bureau raid, Lester explicitly tells Michael he can't remotely hack FIB systems. When Michael asks if he can hack into the system to wipe it all clean, Lester flat out says,
No, that will not work. The only way to access it is through your buildings.
Fuck me.
If Lester can't hack the FIB during an active operation with preparation, how did he supposedly discover Michael's secret arrangement years after the fact? He didn't hack it. He knew because he built it. He structured Michael's deal with Dave Norton after North Yankton. He monitored Trevor in the desert. He engineered Michael's return to crime and Trevor's reunion with the crew. Every single event in the game was part of his master plan to hit the UD, but the Union Depository was never the endgame. It was just phase one.
The Holy Grail, the Union Depository, and they say it cannot be hit. Hasn't been yet.
Think about Lester's role in the Third Way. He has perfect intelligence on every target. He coordinates a multi-pronged assault across the entire city. He manages communications between 3 separate kill teams while simultaneously hacking government databases and monitoring law enforcement response. This level of preparation doesn't happen in the few hours after Franklin's phone call. This was always the plan. Remember that conversation at the Foundry where they're adding names to the hit list?
Tao Ching's credit card just bought a Magnum at the beach club in Pacific Bluffs.
Okay, I'll go ask his ass about his punk ass dad.
When I find Mr. Weston, I'll send the coordinates.
All right. Good.
Watch Lester during that scene. He's not scrambling or improvising. Every name that gets mentioned, he immediately has intel on. Every target that gets added, he already knows their location and security detail. He's been preparing for this moment. The proof is in what he built. The new Los Santos Syndicate isn't some loose alliance of criminals. It's a sophisticated organization with clearly defined roles. Michael DeSanta as Chief of Operations. Now, you might argue that Michael just wants to retire, that he's been dragged back into this life against his will, but listen to what Michael actually says when he's being honest. His very first scene is complaining to his therapist about how miserable his dream life is.
I robbed banks. I ran whores. I smuggled dope.
And you consider them achievements?
These were the opportunities I had. At least I took them.
And where did these opportunities get you, Michael?
They got me right fucking here. The end of the road. With a big house and a useless kid, and I'm stuck talking to you because no one else gives a shit. Oh, I'm living a dream, baby. And that dream is fucked. It is fucking fucked.
After tearing down Madrazo's house, he admits to Franklin,
My heart ain't pumped like that in years. Oh, yes. Fucking A, Bubba.
this isn't a man who wants peace. This is a man who's been waiting for an excuse to stop pretending. His tactical expertise and experience running complex heists make him the perfect field commander for their expansion into new territories.
A lot of friends. I mean, things could get really messy.
No, we just gotta silence a few noisy.
And Trevor Phillips would be head of enforcement. His reputation for ultra-violence and unpredictability make him the perfect enforcer. Nobody crosses the syndicate when Trevor's the consequence.
This is not a game to me. All right, this is a fucking way of life.
Then we have Franklin Clinton as Director of Street Operations. He proved himself by choosing the third way, demonstrating strategic thinking beyond simple loyalty. He's the bridge between the old guard and the new generation, managing their ground-level operations.
Man, I'm just trying to make something out of myself, dawg. That don't change who my homies are, nigga. It don't change my family.
Then there's Lester Crest, the architect, head of intelligence and strategy. He remains in the shadows, gathering information, identifying opportunities, and moving pieces across the board. The Union Depository Gold funds his technology and network expansion. And finally, there's Dave Norton, the inside man, their asset within the FIB, providing protection from federal investigation and early warning of any threats. This isn't merely a crew anymore. It's a power structure designed to dominate Los Santos, potentially for decades. Let's talk about why this conspiracy has remained hidden in plain sight for over a decade. Now, some will say I'm overthinking a video game, but Rockstar doesn't do anything by accident. These are the same writers who spent 5 chapters building up to Red Dead Redemption 2's tragic conclusion, who embedded the Epsilon program conspiracy across multiple GTA titles, who hid the Mount Chiliad mystery in plain sight for years. Their narrative design is deliberate and layered. The genius of the third way is in the game's emotional manipulation. After hours of being jerked around by Steve Haines and Weston, after watching these corrupt assholes threaten our protagonists again and again, we're primed to see their deaths as justice. We're so satisfied watching them get what they deserve that we don't question what comes next. The game immediately ends after the violence. We see the 3 protagonists on that clifftop, battered but alive, and then the credits. We don't see the aftermath. We don't see the power vacuum being filled. We don't see Dave Norton's promotion or the Syndicate's expansion. The game ends at that exact moment that would preserve the illusion of a happy ending. But the evidence was always there, hidden in dialogue, in character motivations, in the suspicious perfection of how everything resolves. Rockstar gave us all the pieces, we just had to put them together. Consider what the third way actually accomplished. Every major criminal organization in Los Santos was decapitated. Every corrupt government official who could threaten them was eliminated. Every private military contractor that could oppose them was neutralized. The one federal agent in position to investigate them became their asset. This wasn't a defensive action. This was the systematic elimination of every possible rival and the installation of a new power structure. In one night, they didn't just survive, they conquered. Now, I'm sure some of you are probably thinking that if they really took over Los Santos, why don't we see it? After the credits, you just play golf, hang out with friends. There's no empire management, no territory control, no indication that anything changed at all. But that is exactly the point. What is the first thing a criminal organization would do after a massive violent takeover financed by stolen gold? They go quiet. They consolidate. They launder the money. Starting another visible gang war would be the dumbest possible move. It draws attention, invites retaliation, and risks everything they just won. The post-game activities aren't a contradiction of the theory, they're phase 2 of the plan. Michael, Franklin, and Trevor spend their time buying up legitimate businesses across Los Santos. Taxi companies, car shops, strip clubs, theaters. This is money laundering at scale. They're converting the Union Depository into a stable legal revenue stream that provides cover for their real operations. And notice what you're not doing anymore. Franklin isn't repossessing cars for Simeon. Michael isn't running penny-ante jewelry store jobs. And Trevor isn't cooking meth in his trailer. They've graduated. The CEO of a corporation doesn't drive the delivery trucks, the real work. Lester managing investments, Franklin overseeing street operations, and Michael planning strategic expansion, those all happen off-screen, as it should for executives at their level. The freedom to do whatever you want in the post-game isn't gameplay limitation, it's the ultimate reward of their coup. They answer to no one. Not psychotic FIB agents, not treacherous billionaires, not cartel bosses, no one. The ability to simply decide to play golf, go to a movie at the theater you now own, or call up your partners to hang out, that's exactly what power actually looks like. The game doesn't end with you becoming kingpins, it ends with you having just won the crown. The post-game isn't the story of what comes next, it's the quiet consolidation. The sandbox isn't the end of the story, it's the beginning of their true reign. So let's go back to that clifftop one more time. Back to that supposed happy ending. When you look at it now, knowing what really happened, it feels different, doesn't it? Not a sigh of relief, but a coronation. The entire narrative of Grand Theft Auto 5 has been a lie, but not the lie you might have thought. Yes, Lester orchestrated everything from the beginning, that's my theory anyway, but the bigger lie is that it ended with the Union Depository. That was just the beginning. The third way wasn't about 3 criminals fighting for survival, it was about a master strategist executing the final phase of a decade-long plan to seize control of an entire city's underworld. The happy ending was the ultimate misdirection, and Franklin's moral stand was proof that he was ready for strategic leadership in the new order. The desperate hit list was a pre-planned decapitation strike against every rival power, and Dave Norton's survival was the installation of a federal asset to guarantee their protection. The game we played was the origin story of a criminal empire. Michael, Franklin, and Trevor didn't ride off into the sunset, they became the kings of Los Santos, and Lester Crest, the architect of it all, finally achieved what he really wanted. Not the holy grail of heists, but the creation of a criminal organization so sophisticated, so well protected, and so well funded that it would be untouchable. They didn't just get away with it, they won everything. So the next time you play GTA 5 and pick the third way, pay attention to the details. Listen to how prepared Lester is. Notice how perfectly everything falls into place. Watch how every single threat to their future is systematically eliminated. The truth was hiding in plain sight the entire time. The happy ending was a lie, and now you know the truth. Thank you all so much for watching. Click like, subscribe, and click this video here. I did a video on Red Dead Redemption 2's Vanderlyn gang and proved that actually it's kinda all a cult.